I don't want what someone else has. I want what is aligned in God's will for me is. I'm not looking for anything externally to idolize. We got to be careful with wanting what somebody else has from the optics, because it could look like we want this beautiful mansion and we go in that house, excuse my language, that mother is more homeless than people who sleep on the street. When you talk about resources and people, I don't want no friends around me who can see me as a mansion, but let me die as a homeless person internally. I'm good. I don't want nothing nobody has because it's not mine. And if it ain't yours, y'all, you can't keep it. You can't sustain it. So stop wanting things that ain't yours. Stop wanting things that don't belong to you. That's called despair. Get you some help. Get you some healing. Get you a sense of self and start wanting things that are yours, because that is good enough.
Hey guys, it's all that jazz. We're on the road to 2K, so if you want to join today by clicking that red subscribe button. Today I'm actually bringing you, it's been a minute since I've done like a chit chat with Jazz. I don't know, comment below if I should just go ahead and bring these back. I wanted to talk about how the grass isn't always greener. Newborn life got me tired, y'all. In life, we know that there are a lot of things that we want, things that we need, things that we think that if we finally got it in our grasp, life would just be great. We would just be so happy and everything would just be all right. And life would just be so amazing, right? So of course there's desires that we want, you know, things that we desire. People desire different things like marriage, family, kids, or that promotion at work, a certain body, a certain look. Like, we all have different wants. We all have different desires. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't desire these things or that we shouldn't try to aim to become who we want to become or grasp these things in life. But I'm learning that, you know, some things take time for a reason. And there's certain things that I'll look at and be like, if God had given it to me earlier than I really should have had it, would I have ruined it? You know, what would have been the outcome of it? We have to be patient for the things that we ask for, and then also know that we're not going to be given everything that we desire, everything that we want. You know, like that's just not reality, because, you know, if we were given everything, we wouldn't need to work for anything within the spiritual world or within, you know, the physical world. For example, you might say like, oh man, once I get this job and once I get this position, like everything's gonna be a-okay, square away. But what I've learned talking to like my friends, talking about, you know, to my mom and my dad and just people that I'm surrounded by, is that no matter what, you know, once we finally get that thing, we still want more. We still like, okay, where's the next thing? Where's the next goal? And there's nothing wrong with wanting more, but we do have to learn to be in a season of being like content, which is still something that I work on, because I'm like, once I get this, y'all, sometimes we be so far ahead in the future that we don't even realize like what we have in the present is what we asked for in the past. I think that we just have to realize where we were at and how we got to this point. Like, we've been wanting such and such for a while. God finally was like, all right, here you go, I'm gonna open this door for you. And then yeah, like we bask in the moment and we're like, yes, finally, like thank you God, like thank you, I'm so grateful we're here. 2 weeks later, if that, we're like, all right, on to the next, on to the next. And I think that it's also the times that we're in that makes us so used to not being okay with delayed gratification. I think, you know, social media, just things being so easily accessible, it's not necessarily us being like, oh, we're just terrible people or we're just super impatient. But I do think we are impatient because of delayed gratification. And because we aren't used to delayed gratification, so we're just like, you know, back in the day, our parents were like, you know, it took us 5 years to get to a certain point, and we're like, why are we not there now? Like, I'm just confused. And then that leads to a down spiral mentally and emotionally, and we start thinking like, I'm not where I need to be. Why am I not here right now, right? Which is a part of what I've been trying to work on, is just like slow living, and know every day I'm not sitting here acting like, oh, I've just learned to just be so content with where I'm at. No, like that's not that's just something that I know I need to do, you know. And of course we're going to be hungry for more, and when you have a family and when you have others around you that you want better for, of course it's, you know, I need it now. Realizing too, once you get to that place, and you know, another thing is the grass isn't always greener, and when you look at other people, like some people might look at celebrities, or some people might look at, you might look at your life and look at someone else's life and be like, man, if only I was there, or I had this and had that. But everybody, what I've learned is everybody has something going on. So whether you want a lifestyle of, I just really can't wait to get a Corvette and a 5-bedroom home, and you know, be able to like do this and do that and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, like everybody has their problems, you know, and everybody has their issues, something that they're trying to work through and go through. Like, even though you might think like, wow, their life is amazing, whether it's materialistic or it's just having those relationships that you desire to have, we all got something going on, y'all. And that's why it's super important to like treat people with kindness, and you know, be open-hearted to listening or helping people, or you know, being encouraging when people need it, because you just really truly never know what people are going through. And you know, looking from the outside in, yeah, they might have that husband, they might have the car, they might have the house, they might have the beautiful family, but if they're still struggling with something mentally or internally, you never know, you know, what it is to be in their shoes or what their life is like. And it doesn't mean that they hate it or that it's like, oh, they're just so terrible. Like, maybe they struggle with, you know, body image, maybe they struggle with their job, maybe they struggle with happiness. Like, we just don't know what people go through before we go saying like, I want that exact life, like I need that, you know what I mean? So, and I can say this because I feel like God has given me the desires of my heart, and yet there's still moments in time where I'm like, oh man, but if only, and then I have to look back and be like, okay, he'd be like, skirt, because you remember 2 years ago you asked for what you have now, you know. So realizing that you're where you're at for a reason, and you're gonna get to, you know, where you want to go, wherever you're supposed to be, you know. Everybody has different needs. Life is lifing for everybody, especially in this time frame, and it's just important to realize why we have not gotten what we have, or gotten to the point where we want to get to. And also realize, like, you look back 5 years ago, you're probably, unless it's due to like our terrible choices, we might not all be where we thought we were going to be, but there are a lot of things that we did, and not necessarily material things, but people that came into our lives, or you know, just things that occurred and worked out for the best, and worked out to be exactly where we need to be in this time, in this moment. You know, you might meet somebody because you were supposed to be encouraging for them in that time, in that space, on that day. You never know. Like, for example, there's even times where doors aren't open because they're supposed to stay closed. Like, I feel like we just be like trying to open doors ourselves, but God be like, nah, like I put a lock on that clink clink for a reason, you know. And we might not ever figure out what that reason is. We might down the line, but I'm trying to also look at like things that are blocked as blessings, which is definitely, like I said, this is all, whenever I have videos or chats like this, it's not because I got it all together or I know how to do this stuff. It's stuff that I know that I'm also working on as well, but I feel like it's encouraging. But yeah, I've learned that just because when a door is blocked or something, it might hurt your soul, it might hurt your heart, but realizing at the end of the day, like I have an example. When me and my husband met at PetSmart, and y'all, when I tell y'all after I graduated, I was like, I graduated, even though it might not have been like a medical or technical degree, I was still like, haha, like I'm applying for these like, you know, entry-level jobs. Why have I not left? Like, I'm confused. And I was just so hurt. And at that point, we weren't even really, we had just kind of started like talking, but it wasn't full on like, oh, like blown together. It was just kind of like, you know, we cool. I'm feeling you, feel me a little bit, but whatever. And I didn't realize like that if I had not stayed, we would not be where we are today. And another example is like, I started off at PetSmart wanting PetSmart jobs so bad, y'all, because I was interested in actually being a veterinarian. I wanted that job so bad that I went up there like 3 or 4 times, like, hey, I'm hiring, I'm ready, like, let's go, in the beginning. And then they put me in grooming, and I was like, I hate it. Like, I hated making phone calls. But guess what? That set the tone for me to then go actually work in the call center. Little did I know, I had no clue I was gonna end up in the call center. I didn't experience the phones and like overcome the fear of like actually speaking. I know it sounds small, but when I was like 17, 18, so I was really like, oh my gosh, heart attack, I gotta talk to somebody on the phone. Like I was already introverted and I'm like, I can't do this, you know? And so if I never had learned how to do that, I wouldn't be able to like transition onto the next thing that he had for me, you know, the next door that he was going to open. And so just the point of these stories is to show like every little detail in your life is on purpose. Every little thing that you go through or don't get to go through is on purpose. He has you where he has you for a reason, and accepting that is one of the hardest things to do, because you're just like you know, God, it has been a hot second since I had said, and we had said, and you had said that this is what we're gonna do, you know, but it's all on his timing and all on like what he has planned out for you. And it's just sometimes even doors open at the last second, like literally the last minute, or I'll be sitting here like, how are we gonna figure this out? What are we gonna do? How is this gonna work out? And God be like, I got you. Like, I already got you. Why you tripping? You know? But like as a human, of course, it's hard because you still have to make those moves. You still have to like put in the work. It's not like it's just straight laid out. You could just be big chilling with your feet kicked up and he's just gonna say, oh, don't even worry about it. Like, no, you gotta put in work. You know, like the choices that you make affect where you're gonna be later on. So you still have to think and try to make a decision. But what I've learned is, really, long as it's not like some terrible, crazy, like shoot up somebody decision, you know, like he's still gonna have your back at the end of the day, no matter what route that you decide to take. Like whether you say, I'm gonna take this job or I'm gonna take this job, I'm gonna go be with this man instead of this man, you know, whatever choice you make, as long as you're still like, you know, you pray, you talk to him, like he still got your back. What I'm saying is that we have to realize like the grass is just not always greener, and that's a good thing. And that doesn't mean like, oh, if you take this route it's the end of the world. It just means just because you don't have what you want to have right now doesn't mean that you'll never have it, and it just means that it's just not for you, and that you should just still keep going and continue to see like what he does have for you, and then look back and be like, oh, I see you are. Because I definitely do that. I always try to remember so that I can like stay sane for today and be like, okay, remember when, you know, you had no clue how this was gonna work out. And I think we just should just breathe. That's what I'm learning, is to breathe. But anyway, I hope that this video was helpful for somebody. If you guys do like the chit chat videos, make sure you like the video so that I know to create more content like this, and comment below something that you realized that happened in your past for a reason, something that was blocked or a door that was open at the last minute. I definitely am interested to know people's stories or things that happened. If you're still here, don't forget you're a rider, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.